Good morning, you're watching ActorsE Chat Show. I'm your host, Sandro Manetti. Now, are you ready for a splash of summer in the bleak midwinter? Well, you've come to the right place, because last time our guest was here, she talked about transforming from a young girl in England with a dream to an international opera star. Today, she's here to talk about her new Christmas single and all the incredible stuff she's been up to since her last visit. She is international crossover singing sensation, Summer Watson, everybody!
Yay. Hello.
Welcome back, Summer.
Thank you, Sandro.
Now, your new Christmas single is called If Every Day Was Christmas. What's the meaning behind this song?
I think when you listen to the lyrics, If Every Day Was Christmas, it's really that around this time of year, everyone is in a good spirit and feeling great and offering lots of wonderful, generosity towards others. And when you think of Christmas time, bringing family together and friends together and celebrating life generally, life is good. And if we maybe looked at life like that a little more throughout the year, maybe there'd be less wars and arguments, and we'd have a little bit more compassion for each other, I think. So that's what the song's about.
Oh, beautifully said. Music with a message in
Music
a
with
way.
a message, indeed, yes.
So how did the project come together? Talk about how the song came your way.
Well, I had the honour of meeting Michael J. at BAFTA, British Academy of Film and Television. And he works with this incredible lyricist, Andre Lindau. And I talked to him about wanting to sing some classical-esque type songs, but in the vein of Celine Dion. As you know, he writes for Celine Dion. And we worked together on this wonderful song.
There is Michael J., legendary producer.
That was the day we recorded, so that was a wonderful session that we recorded in the studio together.
Did you have sleigh bells in the studio and fake snow to help the atmosphere?
We did, yes,
oh, right.
absolutely,
Good.
yes,
Good choice,
yes.
yes.
I brought it all. Yeah, it was an amazing day. I was running around and very, very excited, and it was in the height of summer, which is always the fun thing, to be recording Christmas songs in sort of July. It was such an honour to work with Michael, and I'm very excited about some future projects we have together for the next year.
A musical dream team. Now, what are the essential elements that go into making the perfect Christmas song?
Well, I would say that, obviously you're thinking of a beautiful melody, so you can come away and humming it, when you're making the mince pies or, cooking the roast or whatever it is. Something simple enough that the children can enjoy. And I personally wanted a little something with a little deeper meaning. So I think they're the sort of three main elements, yeah.
Now, you're well versed to sing about Christmas because you've lived all over the world. So tell us how the Christmas season compares in different places where you've lived.
Well, I've lived in Vienna and spent a few years in London, back in England, and now here in the States. And to me, my favorite thing, I've just recently come back from New York, and it really reminded me of what I love about Christmas, the Christmas markets. When you have the mulled wine and everyone together, and it's freezing cold, and all the sort of little trinkets that you can buy, to decorate your home and so on.
Memories of an English Christmas. So what's an LA Christmas like then, by contrast?
Oh, well, I would definitely say skating. As soon as it gets dark around 5, 6 o'clock, I love to skate on the ice rink. And
I thought you meant on your skateboard at Venice Beach.
No. That's for the young kids. That's not for me. Well, not yet. Maybe in 2014. But no, I love to be able to skate and to be able to go to the Christmas markets, and the memories of being in Vienna. Around that time I sang for the United Nations, and worked with Ricky Martin and Emma Thompson.
You were living La Vida Loca quite literally.
Well, he was actually there for something a little bit more serious, the United Nations. And we were running a human rights campaign event, and that really led me to thinking, I love to perform, but I would like to be able to, put my voice to a good cause. And having sung with many charities, when I moved to the States, I thought to myself, it would be really wonderful.
What are we looking at there, Sams?
Ice skating in Vienna.
Yeah.
Ice skating Vienna, fantastic. Yeah. When I moved to the States, I really thought to myself, it would be absolutely wonderful to really be involved, with a grander cause, which is what led me to Amnesty International.
And that's who you were performing for in New York quite recently.
Yes, that's it. Yes.
Tell us about the event you performed at.
So I was invited by the director, Stephen Hawkins, of Amnesty International, to come to New York and to sing at their Janetta Sagan Awards. And Janetta Sagan is a wonderful woman. She's passed away now, but her granddaughter still carries the torch. That's actually on the screen. The girl on the right is the granddaughter of Janetta Sagan. She's an amazing woman. And following...
Lovely dress you've got on there, Summer.
Thank you so much. That's Claire Farwell from London.
Oh, wonderful designer, Claire.
Yes, plug. She's dressed me this morning.
Oh, she has? Oh,
yes.
Excellent. Oh, well done, Claire Farwell. Let's have another look. Yes, excellent.
Yeah, she's an amazing British designer and married to an opera singer as well, which is funny.
Right.
But yes, there I am again in...
championing the cause of human rights, which
absolutely.
is basically what Amnesty does, isn't it?
And they also asked me to speak at the event, and there I am speaking. Angelina Jolie is a huge mentor of mine, how she's combined her not only acting skill, but to be able to speak at various causes. And that's, I'd like to follow in the footsteps of her.
Well, yeah.
And that's a picture, again, with some of the other ladies at the event in New York. The Janetta Sagan Awards is a foundation that was set up in association with the Amnesty International, where they really celebrate the lives of people who've really lived through horrific things, really quite horrific. And they then get given an award so that they can fight through and come through, really carrying the torch to be able to spread the awareness of the human rights campaign that Amnesty is campaigning.
Now, just as you were about to take the stage at that event in New York, the sad news broke that Nelson Mandela had died.
Indeed.
How did that affect the atmosphere, especially at an event like Amnesty International?
It was very poignant for me to have, throughout my life, the peaks and the troughs, but I think it's very important to be aware of other people who have gone through and faced huge, tragedy or whatever. Now we all know, Nelson Mandela's life and what he faced and how he came out shining. So he was always, in the forefront of my mind whenever I went through difficult times in my life. And it's very important for us to, pull from people who have faced very difficult challenges. So
there's Nelson Mandela on screen.
The atmosphere was so profound, because there you have a lady, Janetta Sagan, who was really one of the first women here on the West Coast, I believe, highlighted by Bill Clinton. She did amazing things, and for us to have had the Janetta Sagan Awards at the New York Palace Hotel in New York on the very night that Nelson Mandela passed away, it wasn't a somber atmosphere. It was just a very profound, synchronicity of events, I would say. Yes.
Now, there seems to be a theme emerging that with, through the lyrics of your single, If Every Day Was Christmas, and also performing at events like Amnesty, it's all about music with a message, isn't it? So basically just explain for our audience, how you can use your talent for a particular mission.
I think it's very important as, artists, whether it be that we're actors or writers, or singers in my case, that we use our talent for a greater cause. And that's why people like, Bono or Angelina Jolie or even Sting are really huge mentors of mine, that we're not only focused on what next play we're in or the next film or the next album or Christmas single. That's very important, that's very exciting, but to be able to link that to make a bigger awareness of some causes out there, I think that's really why we're here. Well, that's why I feel I'm here anyway.
And we're here talking with Summer Watson. The conversation continues in a moment. You're watching ActorsE Chat. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
The great thing about NNow Media is it's a one-stop shop. We are soup to nuts. We have writers, directors, producers, animators, motion graphics artists, editors, videographers, musicians, all under one roof. And we are a boutique creative house where we actually do the creative at much more affordable price and have the staff in-house to execute it professionally. My name is John Palacio.
My name is Luz Montez.
My name is Paul Robinson.
I am Jesse Cervantes.
I'm Curtis Peel.
My name is Ben Joran.
One of the most common questions we have from potential clients is how does it work? What happens when you engage NNow Media to create a video, a marketing campaign?
It first starts with, obviously having the phone conversation with the client.
Brainstorm with them to come up with a really good concept and a really good idea to push whatever they're trying to do to the next level.
Only with that in mind can we really try to tailor a concept and a script for their exact audience that fits in with their branding and the message they want to tell.
We'll storyboard it out, get a real rough idea of what we want to do.
We'll then present the client with a couple of options, different ways that we could go with some of the things that we've come up with.
And they'll say this is good, and then we'll come back, we'll start animating that or designing it or editing it.
Our clients are generally, like to be really hands-on, and we'd like to hear from you kind of all along the board. There's no surprises.
What we like to do with every partner is we actually create a page on the NNow website.
So they can give feedback, and that way when the time we get to the final product, usually there's not a whole lot more revisions to do because we've already been working together the whole time.
The big difference is that real personal creative touch.
We have a creative group that can execute that vision, whether it's animation, video, motion graphics, and do so with some unique creative that is custom tailored to that business.
Dream it up. It's video. It's magic. It can happen.
Welcome back to ActorsE. She's Summer Watson. I'm Sandro Manetti. Now, remember to go to actorsreporter.com and click on the Actors Discount link. That will enable you to get savings on the wide and wonderful range of products available there. It's the one-stop shop for all your acting needs. ActorsReporter.com. Now, Summer, we were talking about your single, If Every Day Was Christmas. Now, talking of Christmas, you were performing Christmas carols at the British Consulate in Los Angeles. Tell us about the atmosphere that night.
Absolutely. Well, being here in Los Angeles, it's really exciting to be a classical singer. And so the British Consulate invited me, he and his wife, to sing Christmas carols. And who would have known that the director of BAFTA happens to be a fabulous tenor as well. Mm-hmm. So we were duetting, and all the children were there. Mm-hmm. I think it's wonderful at this time of year when various people from society come together, and friends
and you bring
family.
them together through the Christmas gift of music.
Everyone was there,
yeah.
All singing together,
yeah.
And of course I couldn't help myself but to sing a little descant over the top.
Oh, of course.
Blast a few high notes.
Yes.
But it was a lot of fun.
And there you are at a BAFTA
Yes.
event. Yes. You duetted with Nigel Daly from BAFTA, didn't you?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. How's his voice?
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really, really fabulous. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there'll be more things in the pipeline for 2014.
Well, you teach singing as well. Is it possible to teach anyone to sing?
I think everybody has a voice. That's, first and foremost. I think it's a matter of, how much practice we do, and what kind of training we do and so on. It's really about having fun with the voice. Each and every one of us looks completely different, and it's the same with the voice. Your voice is different to mine, and, my family's voices are different to mine. And it's really about the enjoyment and getting back to that kind of maybe Irish culture or kind of Hispanic cultures, when you get round together and, you're playing songs with guitars and ukuleles or pianos, and it's not really about, one has to be better than the other. It's just about learn a few songs, have some fun, get that sort of community spirit back again.
In your previous interview, you spoke about how you knew you wanted to sing from an early age. But
Yes.
today, with the kids having so many technological distractions, they're always on their iPads and iPhones and what
Yeah.
have you, are there still as many kids who want to sing?
I think, when they're exposed, it's funny you should say that. I was just recently, as you mentioned, singing for the British Consulate. And right in front of me, when I was singing my solo, there was a 4-year-old, this little kid, and he was so cute and beginning to sing with me. And that just, when they're exposed to it, absolutely they want it, and it's not about classical, it's all genres. I think the main thing is one of the plus sides of having iPads and so on, and that sort of technology at your exposure, they can know about something and immediately, download it, watch it, YouTube. So the sensations of, the Taylor Swifts and the other wonderful performers out there, they can look on YouTube and so on and have that accessibility. But I think it is important to mix it up with live performance.
Yeah.
So to get back to learning a few poems, learning, some songs and of any genre, and sitting around the piano and maybe getting away from that just sort of immediacy sometime. Yeah.
So it sounds like that you're in many ways a mentor to kids who are interested in music. But who are your mentors?
Well, I think it's super important to be mentored because, there's no book on singing. There's no book on the industry. There's no book on how to be an actor. I mean, there are, but, to really understand the essence of the spirit, it's really important to meet people, who have already done it or who are already doing it. So for me personally, John Altman, who wrote some of the Baroque music for the Titanic movie.
He also did Walking in the Air, that classic Christmas
also,
song. Yes.
Yeah, and that again,
There is John Altman on screen.
There we are at an event together,
Yeah.
and that really is just amazing. When I meet up with him and go to events and so on, and I can consider him a good friend.
Yeah.
And there we are again, with the gentleman in the middle is Stephen Hawking with Amnesty International, the new director, and on the right is John Altman, and the other gentleman on the left actually put the event together.
Okay.
It's super important because you can have conversations on a very deep level of, what music means to them. Another person recently is a great mentor of mine is Ian Fraser, who wrote the music for Sound of Music. Julie Andrews, working with a lady like that. I grew up listening and watching, music by Julie.
So I imagine when you meet people like this, it's
Yes.
like me meeting my sports heroes. I'm completely overwhelmed.
Yes,
Do you ever
Sandra.
get and I get completely tongue-tied. Presumably you just talk about music, no problem. Do you ever get overwhelmed in that situation?
Well,
or-
I think initially, obviously, maybe the first meeting is
Yeah.
a little bit, so you might get a little bit starstruck. But when you can have a moment to actually talk to them, they're just, wonderful human beings, have had life stories of ups and downs and so on. And I think that's super important to understand, a craft, our creation, be it writers and actors. And there's, as we were mentioning, Julie Andrews, she's gone through so many trials and tribulations in her life, but had an amazing vocal career, and someone I really, really look up to. Another great mentor of mine is, David Foster.
Oh, music legend.
And
Yes.
being here in Los Angeles, as you know, he's written for everybody.
Andrea Bocelli,
Correct.
Celine Dion, Whitney
Yes.
Houston. There is David Foster on the screen at the
Absolutely.
moment. And I understand you recently got to sing on stage with him. How did that come about?
Well, I went to, being here in Los Angeles, I was invited to the Nespresso, launch of Nespresso, the coffee company.
Oh, their store in Beverly Hills, yeah.
The store in Beverly Hills on the West Coast. And David and I performed together. And being here in Los Angeles, that's what's so exciting. The heart of Hollywood. That's when you get to meet some of the greats here who are here in Hollywood. And so when we performed together, you know, that's just something off my bucket list.
Well, as a special treat, now let's see a clip of Summer Watson and David Foster.
Summer Watson singing O Mio Bambino. If this works out, Tim, this could be a TV show, don't you think? In G, huh? I hope.
Or G.
G? Okay, I hope I can get through it. I don't know. I'll just do my best, okay? Jesus Christ, what's in the water here? Keep going. Go for the big note. Summer! Killed it! Wow, killed it. Who won? No, I'm married. No, I'm kidding. Holy crap.
David Foster and Summer Watson, a match made in musical heaven, I'm sure you would agree. Now, we were watching that in the studio and we were all thinking, you know, as you were as well, how does that big voice come out of this slender body? I imagine that's a comment you get quite often, Summer.
Quite a few times, you know. I guess it's, you know, just down to jeans, really. I love to exercise.
You wear tight jeans?
You might see me wearing some.
Hey, if it gave me a voice like that, so would I. Yeah.
No, I think it's you know, it's really important to be fit and healthy. I love greens juices. I'm addicted to kale. I grow my own kale.
So am I.
But you know what's so funny is we were talking earlier about recently singing for the British Consulate, and they had some wonderful mince pies being passed around, and everyone was saying, you know, gosh, you know, you actually eat, and I was just taking mince pie after. I think I probably had about 8 or 9 of them, and I don't think anybody. I was just like, oh, stay here, you know, and eating quite a few of them. Yeah, I love to eat, love to keep healthy and fit, and I think that's super important. Yeah.
And how many mince pies did you bring back for all of us in the studio today?
I have a goodie bag.
Oh, excellent! Well, that's fantastic.
Yes.
Now, you were saying before about people's perceptions. You know, is that something that you faced a lot in your career?
Perceptions are, I would say, you know, are it's interesting. You know, people think, oh, you know, you need to be this way to be an opera singer, or you need to, you know, really say these things to be validated and so on. But I think what's really important in this day and age is to break down the barriers. You know, we talked about that last time, that it really is so important to sing something with a message, to really take our craft, you know, have fun with it, but take it seriously, and, you know, not to judge too much.
You're watching ActorsE Chat Show. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Over her long career, Nina Foch appeared in classic films such as Spartacus, The Ten Commandments, and An American in Paris. She received an Academy Award nomination for her performance in Robert Wise's Executive Suite. In 1965, Nina Foch arrived here at USC to begin teaching directing, and I was lucky enough to get into one of her first classes. Even as she continued acting in film and television, Nina's passion for teaching lasted for over 40 years. Her course was immensely popular because she developed her own unique style, drawing on her experiences studying with Lee Strasberg, Stella Adler, and Uta Hagen, and being directed by such icons as Vincent Minnelli, Stanley Kubrick, Cecil B. DeMille, and Otto Preminger. As I began directing, the tremendous value of her teachings became evident and how important it was to preserve them for future generations. We became close friends, and at a cinema department event, we ran into my former classmate, George Lucas, who invited us up to Skywalker Ranch, where we discussed creating a DVD of her course. He agreed to finance it, and on January 10th, 2002, we began taping an entire semester using a crew of USC film students. We filmed for 8 hours a week for 15 weeks, and this is the result.
Okay, so what are we going to do this semester?
But what's the question? I'm trying to think to open it. Open it up. What's he like, or you know him, or is? I wouldn't really ask a question as bad as what's he like. I'm just trying to think.
I'd talk maybe like a memory of a performer you've performed with. You've performed with David Foster. You know, is there anyone else?
Okay, I'll ask you your biggest memory of what. Well, welcome back to ActorsE. I'm your host, Sandro Monetti. This is our guest, Summer Watson. We were just chatting about your Christmas single, weren't we?
Yes.
Yes. If Every Day Was Christmas, now available on iTunes.
A world that's filled with magic and everlasting peace, surrounded by good friends and every joy the season gives us.
I'll join in.
Oh, if every day was Christmas.
Do we know?
Maybe if that feeling.
Ah, beautiful. That was If Every Day Was Christmas by Summer Watson. Now available on iTunes and Amazon and
I'm really excited about it. It's being sold all over the world.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm carrying the flag for being in America, so it's US iTunes and Amazon. But
beautiful picture, Summer.
Thank you so much. Yeah, wonderful photographer David Aguilera took that photograph.
Yeah.
But the UK, the BBC picked it up, and we did a wonderful hours interview together. And it's just wonderful that everyone's asking, "Oh, are you going to be back in the UK to perform it?" Yeah. But sadly, not this year, but quite potentially next year.
So for all those viewers out there who are watching you and feeling inspired, I'm wondering if the path to success for an Oscar singer today is the same as it was 10 years ago. Just as the pop music world has changed, has the classical music entry system changed?
Oh, absolutely,
How so?
yes. Well, there are obviously, a few different sort of television shows that we all know, that Simon Cowell, is involved with. And, he really does have, the finger on the pulse, has created wonderful groups like El Divo and, the boys, I knew them personally in London, and their success is phenomenal. And other great, singers that the show has found, like Paul Potts. In 2010, we actually went to Iceland together, and wonderful place. You talk about.
Well, hang on a minute. You mentioned Paul Potts there. He's the subject of a new movie called sort of One Chance, and there is Il Divo, who we were just mentioning, put together by Simon Cowell. And talking of Simon Cowell, he created Britain's Got Talent.
Yes.
And the champion of that was opera singer Paul Potts.
Yes.
And so, what is your abiding memory of performing with him?
Well, when we were invited to go to Iceland, I mean, we were talking about Christmas time and so on, and there we were, freezing cold, surrounded by sort of snow and a beautiful, beautiful country.
There's Paul Potts on screen.
Absolutely, and he's it's a wonderful man, amazing life story, and that really proves the point of what Pavarotti always said. Classical music, or music in general, should be like a sport. It should be for everybody, and Paul is just a great guy, very down to earth.
He used to work in a cell phone store.
I believe so, yeah.
And used to sing in the shower, and next
yeah,
thing you know,
absolutely.
he's an international singing
and
sensation.
you know, he you know puts on wonderful concerts, and it was really fun to be performing with him.
Now there's Pavarotti, who gave Paul Potts a bit of a setback. Because, yes, Paul Potts went out to Venice to train and got to perform in front of the maestro. And he got really nervous. And he sort of stumbled and he blew it. And Pavarotti said to him, "You're not ready yet. Maybe in a few years." And then he went back to the cell phone store. And then he never sang again. Yeah. And then suddenly the Britain's Got Talent audition came up. So, which brings me on to a point. How do you deal with stage fright? Because Paul Potts had his big chance in front of Pavarotti, and that would have broken most people, but he was able to come again.
I think that's the thing. You have to have great, you know, strength and you know, a belief system. You know that if you're not ready at a certain point, you know, not to be knocked down, but to figure out a way to kind of get back up again. You know, like you know, a way to be able to work harder, to work in a better way. And I think shows like Britain's Got Talent do expose wonderful talents that are out there. You know, I'm just in admiration of some of the singers I've seen on The Voice and so on. And
we were just watching Paul Potts on Britain's Got Talent there, and you think The Voice fills a useful place in the music industry?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. And you know, to go forward and to get product out there, to be able to be seen, and then to develop singles and albums and work with great musicians, it's a wonderful vehicle. But to have the opportunity that Paul has had, not only to sell albums and tour all over the world, but to tell his life story through this wonderful movie. You know, that's inspiring to others. It's music is for everybody, and there should be no barriers. And so, you know, it's a fabulous movie, and I think to be able to fuse the two of great singing talent into movies is the next sort of
well,
way
talking of
forward.
which, Summer, now if they made a movie about Paul Potts, now if you could write your perfect movie role, what would it be?
I think I would love to be, as I mentioned, Angelina Jolie is a huge mentor of mine. I just think she's fabulous. Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
All right.
Crossed with maybe Bond. I see myself as maybe a Bond girl, you know, but maybe a sort of an undercover...
A singing Bond girl.
A singing Bond girl,
yes.
Not just in a...
Who can skate.
Who can
There's Angelina,
who can be at some of the wonderful events.
They're doing a new Tomb Raider movie, you know. I mean, how about you as the new sort of Lara Croft?
Great.
This time she sings.
Yes, if you're listening, producers, I'm here. I'm in Los Angeles.
She kicks ass, she packs heat, and she can hit a high C.
Yes, and I'm trained in martial arts, so I'm ready to go.
Now, well, we joke there about acting, but you use your voice in voiceover work, don't you? As well as singing. Now, is there a way to sort of train your voice for those out there who do voiceover work, just as there is for singing, and is it any different?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really important to know as a performer how to use the voice. So, you know, to be an all-round performer, but excellent in each and every area as much as possible. And that's what wonderful cities like, you know, London, Los Angeles, and New York, they give opportunities to do that. So it doesn't matter whether you're, you know, a voiceover artist and working towards commercials, or excellent in accents and aiming towards sort of working with, you know, Disney or Warner and so on. Again, it's about associating yourself, thinking about branding. So I know personally that I would very much associate myself with products like Jaguar and Land Rover, and recently did a Land Rover voiceover and so on, and so you get to enjoy what do I do at my best, you know, how does my voice work, and how can I utilize that. I know that you're excellent at accents, and I understand that you recently did a book audio
oh yes, I did, yes,
reading.
Thank you. I was wondering where you were going with that. Yes, absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
I played 76 different characters.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, great fun.
And that was just in 1 hour, right?
It was.
Sandra?
That quick.
Yeah.
I'm that quick.
Yes.
That was called Man Overboard, which is available from audible.com and audible.co.uk. Thank you for
Yes.
the plug there, Summer. Yeah, Man Overboard, yes, audiobook. So you were talking before about branding.
Yes.
Now just another plug there. There's Man Overboard by Monica Dickens, read by yours truly, Sandro Manetti. How, do you like that?
Yes,
Now,
very good.
how important is branding for a performer, whether they be an actor or a singer, anything?
It doesn't make any difference, actor or singer, anybody or entrepreneur. You really are your own entrepreneur, and I think it's super important to be really honest with yourself and very aware where the industry is at right now. And long gone are the days where you sort of get picked up and found. You have to really be your own businesswoman or businessman to be well aware of how social media works, from Facebook and Twitter, to be really interactive with your fans, which really begins as your friends, to be honest, and that extends obviously from plays. People come to see you to follow up with that, and to tell everyone what you're doing, and to create newsletters and to interact, with your agents and managers and fan base, as I mentioned, to constantly get product out, which is why I'm so excited. This Christmas single is out. That's my Facebook page. Summer Watson Musician Band.
Summer Watson Musician Band
Yes.
is there on Facebook.
And I personally love to interact, quick
and that's
messages.
your Twitter. What's the address there?
That's at Summer Music.
At Summer Music.
I love to hear from people and to answer back to questions and that they have. As I said before, there is no book on how to do it, but it's interesting to kind of to mentor others who are moving in that direction. And the branding, again, always to live that. As we touched on earlier, Claire Farwell, wonderful British designer, to really know who you are and what you want to look like, what you want to be seen as, and to really live that at all times.
Now, you were talking about informing your fans with what's coming up next. What is your grand plan for the year ahead?
Well, first and foremost, going to enjoy Christmas. This is a very exciting time for me. I absolutely love Christmas, from the music to the food. And sadly, I won't be with my mum, but I have wonderful friends here in LA who we will celebrate together.
Listening to your Christmas single, If Every Day Was Christmas.
Absolutely,
no doubt.
dancing around the Christmas tree.
And for the next year?
And then for next year, I'll be releasing singles throughout the first half of the year with Michael J. We've already lined up a couple of them that I'll tell you next year. And really to work on being in the next Bond movie, I guess.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time professionally?
That's a wonderful question. I would say taking my ambassador role quite seriously. I'd love to still be associated with Amnesty International, to use my voice in that direction, and to have really extended my touring and so on, following the footsteps of Celine Dion.
We have a chatter question now for Summer, and Pepper's going to read it out.
Well, you're pretty well organized and recognized out there in the world now. What's it like to meet a lot of other famous people?
What's it like to meet a lot of other famous people?
I think it's really exciting. You get to, either you have those moments where you sort of have 3 or 4 minutes to have a quick chat with them, as for example Stephen Webster there, who's the royal jeweler, and Lady Victoria Harvey, is a wonderful British girl.
Socialite,
who's known very much so in the UK, and Nigel Lithgow from
Dancing with the Stars.
Dancing with the Stars.
And, well, mainly for So You Think You Can Dance.
So You Think You Can Dance, yes. Different programmes.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yes. No, he was a lot of fun. And there's an example, his wife actually came up and said, I'll take the picture of you. And, they're just normal, fun-loving kindred spirits. And that was at the Britannia Awards, as similar to the Oscars.
He didn't go into his Borat and say, I like you.
No, I think I did.
Oh, you did. Okay, yes.
But and that's
wow.
That's a moment.
Wow, who's that? Was Summer Watson?
That's Placido Domingo. That was.
I knew that.
I have met him a few times, but I was very starstruck. Again, I never. I seem to, be able to sort of keep it together when I meet Placido, because he's a wonderful kindred spirit, and
And
just
there's
so
another
much
legend,
fun.
Caroline Faraday, BBC reporter,
Well,
who
that's-
interviewed you by the Hollywood sign.
Well,
I
yes,
see.
I mean, when you're back in England and, you know, it's freezing cold and you're drinking your tea and digestive biscuits, on comes these sort of shows like GMTV, the wonderful morning television shows, and they have the wonderful Hollywood sign and bright blue skies, and that always seems so far away. But then you realize as you grow throughout your career, step by step, and I made it to the top of the mountain and sang the Sound of Music, and they interviewed me.
This is the top of the mountain. This is ActorsE Chat Show. It doesn't get any better than that. You're at the summit. So we'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. Top of the mountain.
Hey everyone, I am Judith Jones. If you are looking for photographs, which a lot of you are, let's face it, we need photographs every day, actors, models, even if you're just, you know, the milkman, you need photographs, okay? You need to look good. And if you want to look good, you've only got one man to go to, and that's John Michael Ferrari. You see, I needed to look good. So I went to John, and he basically took me to the most beautiful place in LA and took these wonderful photographs of me, and I really didn't even recognize myself because I just looked, well, let's just face it, I looked stunning. So if you want to look stunning like myself in those photographs, go to him. He will make you look beautiful. If you're pretty, he'll make you look prettier. If you're not pretty, he'll make you look pretty. John Michael Ferrari. That's all you need to know. So go to imagesbyferrari.com. That's the website, imagesbyferrari.com. And you can check out all his photography and you can contact him there. You can look at a picture of me. He directed me, because if you need direction, which, hello, I do, he directs you too. So go and check that out, imagesbyferrari.com. You'll love it. You'll look great. Check it out. Bye, everyone.
Welcome back to ActorsE Chat Show with me, Sandro Minetti, and guest Summer Watson. Now, please remember to go to actorsreporter.com and click on the Actors Discount link, where you'll get wonderful discounts on all the services listed there. There's some great stuff to buy there on Actors Reporter. But you know what I really want someone to buy me for Christmas? I would really like to get the Summer Watson Christmas single, If Every Day Was Christmas. Now, have your friends and family all been asking you for a free copy, Summer?
Well, the most exciting thing is that we have this thing called iTunes and Amazon, and it doesn't matter for all those men out there who's forgotten to buy their mum a Christmas present,
Yes.
or girlfriends. It doesn't matter. Or sisters, it's one click away, and all very easy. So the Christmas shopping this year couldn't be easier. And that's what's so fantastic with technology these days, is that you can create phenomenal product, and it doesn't matter, be it singer or actor, you can get out there and put yourself out there with YouTube and so on, and Twitters, and get going.
And talking of the old interweb, one of our viewers has got a chatter question. Yes, Pepper?
Yes, opera. You're doing opera, and it's all modern and really rather hip. Any advice to someone else that would like to do your type of career?
Absolutely. Well, that's first of all very exciting. I think the 21st century is all about bringing, resurrecting, wonderful classical music and classic prose and acting and so on. I would say search out a wonderful vocal coach who's very accessible to classical and popular music, so they understand both genres. And just to feel it out, and remember that that's your profession and your hour and your vocal lesson, so you should get out of it what you want. If you're in LA, I would love to hear from you, and I love to vocal coach. It's one of my favorite things to do, to pass on everything that I've learned. In terms of if you've already got going singing, is to, as I mentioned, interact with your fans, to keep going with lots of different songs, and to perform as often as possible, putting little videos, and it doesn't have to be perfect. There are major artists out there signed to labels and so on that when you speak to the execs, they all say the same thing: YouTube channel, get your iPhone going or your little camera, put little video clips up, and start interacting with the world, because just like with a click of the button, you can get going.
And talking about interacting with the world at a click of a button, the viewers can find you, Summer,
at Summer Music is
at
Twitter.
Summer Music on Twitter.
Ask me any questions you like.
And on Facebook.
And Facebook is Summer Watson Musician Band.
Excellent. So that's how you find Summer Watson on Twitter and Facebook.
And if you want to listen to my first album with Sony, there's Reverb Nation. I'm there, and that page just showing there is the iTunes page for the If Every Day Was Christmas by Michael J.
Oh, and there's sandromanetti.com, where you can learn all about your host's upcoming projects, as you can on IMDb. Look for me on the big screen in 2014, and on Twitter as well, at Sandromanetti. And on Facebook also. All the latest activities for myself and Summer Watson. Well, you know, Summer, if every day was a Summer Watson interview day, you know, that would be fascinating. You know, what a great show we would have. Sort of plenty to talk about. Indeed, you know.
It's been such a pleasure to be here and to be able to share with everyone my new single. It really means the world that I've been able to work with Michael J.
Yeah.
And I would just say, follow your dreams, have a really wonderful Christmas and or happy holidays, and share some fabulous times with friends and family. Much love.
Thank you very much. Follow your dreams instead. Words to live by. So thank you to all our viewers and chatters for joining us on ActorsE Chat. We're here Monday through Friday from Hollywood, California. ActorsE Chat has 5 million international viewers. Thank you so much. Now, if you want to see today's show again, there's so much information to go through there, go to actorsentertainment.com and put the name Summer Watson in the search box. Also, go to imdb.com and visit us at Actors Entertainment and see some of the 1,000 entertainment industry guests that we've had on ActorsE. Follow Actors Entertainment on Twitter, and the address there is @ActorsEntertain. Facebook as well, you go, all of those things. Actors Entertainment fan page, and don't forget to like us. Lovely picture of today's guest, Summer Watson, on there. Now, don't forget also, we mentioned actorsreporter.com, where you can click on the Actors Discount link. And congratulations to Actors Reporter Animation, which won Best Animation at the Telly Awards. Great job, Pepper J Productions and Now Media.
Congratulations.
There we go. Yeah, it's not the first trophy you've held, I'm sure. So that has been ActorsE Chat Show with Sandro Manetti and the wonderful Summer Watson. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
What's that? ActorsE Chat Show? Happens to be my favorite in the morning. I want nothing but a cup of coffee, a bottle of Kahlua, 6 naked girls. Wait, no, that's not right. ActorsE Chat Show.
Oh my gosh, hey, big Hollywood starlet that just happens to be walking by. Yes. I'm not from around here, but I want to be an actress just like you. What do I need to know? Kid, let me tell you. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a naive newbie like you, there's one thing you need to know. To get my first job, I lived in a slum, beat out 50 other girls to play a drunk bum.
I cried.
My first agent charged me 30%.
Thanks.
Working 3 jobs and I couldn't pay rent, but I'm an actor.
She's an actor.
A shark gnawed my leg on a B film in Sydney. To pay for the stitches, I sold my left kidney. I finally made a union, their rules were complex. Their piles of paperwork fogged up my specs. But I'm an actor.
She's an actor.
I'm an actor. Well, that's rather disturbing, but what's the one thing I need to know? Don't listen to the critics. Don't follow all the tabs. Forget that sleazy photog and the agent that's got crabs. Go to Actors Reporter. Actors Reporter. ActorsReporter.com. Learn the tricks and the secrets without all the sweat. An info-packed one-stop shop, it's free and on the net. Actors Reporter. Actors Reporter. ActorsReporter.com.
How can they help her?
Career cues, union news, makeup woes, advice from pros, insurance tips, choosing scripts, everything at your fingertips. Actors Reporter. Actors Reporter. ActorsReporter.com.
I just got a call back.
I'll do it.
Oh, hello. I'm Mary Jo Gruber. Thanks for joining us on ActorsE Live Chat Show. I'm just one of your ActorsE hosts, but as you can see, I'm also the ActorsE Live video editor, which means that I'm here, even when you don't see me. ActorsE is here to chat with you Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, or Hollywood time, as I like to call it. Our guests include actors, directors, producers, writers, singers, comics, and others that are all in the entertainment industry. You can see previous shows at www.actorsentertainment.com, and be sure to check out our guest index to find your favorite celebrities. See you next time. I'm working.